So this is going to be a little July plan with me, admittedly a bit late, and Camp NaNoWriMo prep. For those only interested in Camp NaNoWriMo, I will put a timestamp below. Starting with just a very quick overview of what June looked like, the sort of more involved daily weekly hybrids I used for a bit, which worked really well to a point, and then the stripped down version I went to when I realized I wasn't really using some of the elements in the other, particularly the time bar, since I don't currently have as many meetings and things to juggle. So that's probably going to carry forward into July. Starting off July, we've got to do a cover page, of course, right? And I'm using some stickers that I got from Planning with Kay. She's got a peony themed set and a daisy themed set, and I just wanted lots of flowers for July, and you'll see why when we get to the Camp NaNoWriMo tracker. Pretty basic habit tracker and mood tracker. I did switch them up to go vertical instead of horizontal this time, because I wanted them to be able to match with the sleep tracker. You will see shortly just how incredibly well that did not work. After I finish fussing with the key and trying to make sure it matches what I've used in previous months, and that I've got the exact number for each Tombow pen, because of course that's critically important when you don't actually have this whole set and the numbers are rubbed off of the pens anyway. I'm not sure why I find it so important to do this. I left it in just because I thought it was kind of amusing, the lengths that I went to find those numbers, particularly for that one purple. I went back to my first bullet journal to where I had swatched everything, and I thought I had a match, but I wasn't sure, so then I pulled out my second bullet journal. I looked at that pen test page and decided I had figured out which one it was, and finally moved on to the sleep tracker. This is where I could have used a little more planning. If you are trying to line things up across pages, it does pay to actually look at how they line up across the pages before you do things like apply stickers to the page. Because as you see, everything ends up jogged down a line for the sleep tracker, because there needs to be room to actually show the numbers of the hours. And so, close but no cigar. And I do actually fill in all of the numbers throughout the page, just because it's easier than trying to track down the column through the month. Just a little highlight to distinguish the dates from the hours and the daylight hours from the nighttime hours. More or less, kind of, sort of. So, next up, we've got the language learning trackers for Icelandic and American Sign Language. For the Icelandic, I went with the same reading tracker that I had mentioned in the Iceland book haul video, and not too much changed. Got it to be a little less cramped, made a couple little mistakes, no big deal. For ASL, we don't have homework assignments that I thought we might need to turn in, like making videos of ourselves signing things. So really all there is to track is time practiced, and I decided to just make a little place that I can track hours spent practicing either by myself or with somebody else, online or face-to-face. Pretty basic. And it all looked so basic I decided it needed a couple more flowers to perk it up a bit. Now on to Camp NaNoWriMo. The ideas for this spread come from both Michaela at Between the Steps, and I cannot remember her name, She Meets City. Those are two YouTubers who I'll link below, who I kind of combined the trackers that each of them made for NaNoWriMo last November, and I decided I wanted to use that approach again, since I am doing word count this July, not just hours. In April I did just hours, so I just created a page full of blank cherry blossoms to color in every time I got an hour of work done. For this camp, I want a way to track total word count, and I still want something that I can color in to show when I get chunks done. So we have the little sort of stepping stones around the garden, is how I'm interpreting that, where I can write the word count where I'm up to, and then the sunflowers that I can highlight one apiece for every 1,000 words, or color one apiece for every 1,000 words I get written. That, by the way, is what last November looked like. Okay. Now just to quickly set up the first weekly. Again, very stripped down, just using basic markers for the corners of blocks and the dividers between blocks for days, and giving enough room for an appointment or two and some tasks. Not crazy about this business of having Thursday straddle the 2 pages though. So we'll see how long this approach lasts. What's funny is in ASL class last week when I first started using this, because I'm voicing this on the 9th, one of my classmates happened to see it and she said, "Oh wow, I've only ever seen those on YouTube. I kind of didn't know anybody really did them in real life," which I found very amusing. I tried out using a couple of big boxes for goals and tasks, so big overall project goals and individual tasks that I could then sort into the days as I got a handle on what was going to fit in which days. Little place for some miscellaneous stuff and for stuff coming up. And on the other page I created a spot for things that I'm waiting on that didn't make it into frame. So now just a quick overview. Realized we needed more flowers there. Need a quote there too. Haven't figured that out yet. Oh, and then I realized that my sunflowers didn't have petals. Had to fix that. I did ultimately blacken all the centers too, not while filming though. Okay, now it's ready to go. And that's it. So, I hope something in there was useful to you, even if July is already well underway, and so is Camp NaNoWriMo as a result. But if you found it in any way useful or interesting, please give this a thumbs up so I know. Better still, comment. Let me know what you use to track your progress if you're doing something like Camp NaNoWriMo or working on learning a new language or anything like that. And let's compare notes. If you'd like to see more of this in the future, and along with all the other random things that may come up on this channel, please hit subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.